Hi, welcome back. We're keeping things a little casual this time. Not to say that this series isn't already very casual as it is, but I'm recording from bed because I'm tired, but I thought about this and I wanted to talk about it. Recently, we have all seen the clip of Alex Earl explaining the dress from her birthday and the yuffing.
This one, no one go near this one because this I meant to throw out. It smells. It has my puke on it from my birthday last year, and I meant to get it dry cleaned, but I didn't, so it's just been sitting in my closet.
Up against your other clothes?
And it really smells. Smell it.
Ew, ew.
Regardless of what I think about this topic, that's just like nasty. That's like really bad hygiene. Anyways, oh my god, I'm sorry if I keep hitting the microphone. I have my nails back on and I'm not quite used to depth perception yet, so you're just gonna have to forgive me. Also, this mic is heavy as shit. But I love it. I and many others know about dry January, but this time I wanted to talk about it and offer some perspective on it as a sober person. I have my notes here. It's not a script. These are just some bullet points to help me remember what I wanted to say. Otherwise, I would have scripted it and made it an entire video essay, but I have not. So we're all aware that when New Year's comes around, everyone has these resolutions. It's usually health and fitness, and very toxic and very unattainable and unachievable. And I could go off on a whole video essay about that, but I'm not going to. So I just wanted to talk about, like my personal reasons why I am sober, why I don't drink, and just kind of like a little bit of my thoughts about dry January as someone that doesn't. So we've all seen the Alex Earl thing. So my reasons, let's start with like my personal reasons for not drinking. Number one, it's not cultural or religious. I'm medically intolerant, meaning my body does not handle alcohol well. Like I have some kind of issue with it. The irony strikes me every single day. For a little context of why I'm saying that, my heritage is German, Irish. I'm a celiac and I don't drink because I cannot medically tolerate it. Oh, my ancestors would be so proud of me. Anyways, that's not the point. I simply just cannot medically tolerate it. I don't do very well when I drink. It makes me feel terrible even after like one drink. And I'm not a lightweight. A lot of people seem to think that when you say you're intolerant to something, it means you're lightweight. No, it just means that like when I do process it, my body does not handle it well. I've never been drunk because I don't like the feeling of losing control over myself that people lose when they drink. That's another big reason. I like being in control of myself. I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to my own personal emotions and thoughts, and I don't like potentially saying things that I either have been thinking about that might not be very great or, And lastly, it's just the taste. I don't like the taste of alcohol. I've never found it to taste that good, although I do like fruity little drinks. Carrie Underwood would have hated me because I can't chew whiskey, but I do like those fruity little drinks. They're very good. I will admit those are good. A well-made cocktail, a well-made fruity little drink, but even then I would only have like one and then I would be done. So I don't drink for mainly those reasons. And I also just don't feel the need to. Like I don't feel pressure. I don't feel like I have to drink to fit in. I don't feel like I need to drink to have fun, and that's totally fine. And the thing is, when I say that I don't drink, a lot of people assume that I'm some kind of stickler, I'm boring, I'm square, I don't want anybody else to drink. And to be honest, I don't give a fuck if you want to drink. I don't care if you want to do that. That's your prerogative. I'm not here to tell you not to drink just because I do and you, or like I don't and you do. I do as in I choose not to participate in drinking. And that's totally fine. Again, if that is what people want to do, totally cool. I don't really care. But there are some things about dry January that kind of I give a little bit of a side eye to, and mainly people use dry January and withholding drinking as a form of punishment because they've indulged and they've been gluttonous and they've been whatever, and it's very sad to see. Actually, I don't like that people deprive themselves of things as punishment for whatever they believe to be a perceived slight that they have done in their behavior. Very unhealthy way, and that does tie in with the toxicity of New Year's resolutions and everything. I can't remember her last name, but Bryony, I think her channel name's Bryony Claire. She has really, really cool videos, really great videos. Love her. She's a smaller video essayist and I adore her. She had a whole Christmas holiday series and how to navigate the social pressures of it and her thoughts about it. Really, really cool, really interesting. But yeah, she talks about alcoholism, and that kind of like helped get this going on, as well as the Alex Earl clips. So yeah, I don't like that people take drinking as this like thing that you have to do. Like and then like depriving yourself is like you're somehow doing like a morally good thing. Like I don't like that. I also don't like that binge drinking has some kind of acceptance. It has a big acceptance. It's like actually seen as normal to do that, and I don't like that for health reasons. Like I think about this stuff from a health perspective, like a medical, more clinical approach, because drinking that much is just simply not good for you. Like let's not pretend like going out and getting blackout drunk is healthy for your body in any single way. And I don't like demonizing things, because I think that if you want to have a drink or two in a night, you should be able to, and you shouldn't have to think, well, is this nutritionally good for me or not? That whatever. Anyways, but I don't like that we have this like acceptance of like low-key alcoholism too. Like people are like, oh, I'm never gonna drink again after they, get blackout drunk, and then the next weekend they're blackout drunk again. Like that's not healthy to me. And the biggest thing that I'm seeing is like with the Alex Earl clips, that was one of the biggest things that got me to start talking about this, clearly, was her talking about like her dress that she had yuffed on a year prior. I'm also a severe emetophobe, which is why I don't like drinking, because that's one of the biggest things that comes with drinking is yuffing, and I'm not about that life. I am not about that life. As someone that suffers with chronic nausea, I don't vibe with yuffing. Really, I wanted to expand upon her stories of like her partying and stuff, and I want to apply that to just a general sense of you don't need alcohol to have fun either. And it's very concerning to me to see that so many people are so just okay with that, like getting drunk and getting blackout drunk, like getting yourself into dangerous situations, spending a ton of money. Like that's just like not good for you. Like whether you agree with drinking or not, and like whether you do drink or not, that is objectively not a healthy thing for you to do. Like it's not healthy to have like 10 cookies in a day. Regardless of how I feel about the demonization of food and like assigning morality to it, that's just not a good thing to do to yourself. Sure, you can do it, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. I've been watching a lot of Jurassic Park content, so I'm gonna quote Malcolm.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
I get very impassioned about this. This is like a topic, one of the topics that gets me besides the detox one. It's the topic of alcohol and like socially acceptable vices. Similar to my book talk has a corn addiction problem, or like a corn problem. That's kind of how I feel about this. I just wanted to offer a bit of perspective from the sober side. I keep hitting my microphone. I grew up in a family where almost everybody drinks. Not as much now, but I grew up around alcohol, surrounded by alcohol. My entire family's from the Midwest. There's a huge drinking culture there. There's a huge drinking culture everywhere, but me personally, I'm the first in my family to like be born and raised in the state that I live in. And let me tell you, that drinking culture follows, because there's also a huge snowbird community. I live in a big retirement area. I live in part of the Sun Belt of America. And I also live in a border state, so there's a lot of different cultures that live here that are heavily based in drinking. And the socializing is also one of the biggest parts that drinking does. It allows people to, loosen up a little bit socially. And I don't think there's anything wrong with needing like just a little bit of like liquid courage, because sometimes you just need that. And that's totally okay. Like just like a little sip, little drink, totally chill. But if you need that to start getting through your day, like at 8 a.m., you're popping a wine bottle open, which is partially why I don't like the holidays, because binge drinking is like even more socially acceptable then. But with my experience as being like the sober person, or the person that does not get drunk, doesn't get even like buzzed or tipsy, and the most I've been is tipsy. I've never been drunk in my life, and I have zero desire to. That's just not something that I really want to do. Yeah, I decided when I was younger that I don't like the idea of getting drunk. It kind of like scares me, actually. And I think rightfully so. We live in kind of a scary world. Existing as a sober person is very interesting, because I'm the one that's expected to be the DD. I'm the one that's expected to babysit everybody when they get drunk. I can't enjoy my evening. I have to make sure everybody everybody eats. I have to make sure everybody drinks water. I have to make sure everybody lays on their side. Like my freshman year of university, I was the babysitter and it was not fun. It was especially not fun wrangling a 6'3", like 200-pound blackout wasted man back into my dorm room where all of my other friends were, and because he was a wanderer. And then oh my god, I have some stories from my freshman year, and I wasn't even there a full year because COVID began. Yeah, socializing, like people will sometimes give me funny looks, but now like being sober is a little bit more accepted. But when I was younger, people used to think I was weird because I didn't want to drink. I just didn't have an interest in it. I was like, no thanks, I'm good. Dating as a sober person, and I also have celiac too, so dating's even harder. But you know what? These are my convictions and I stick to them. Well, I have to stick to the celiac convictions. But dating is really hard because a lot of dating culture nowadays, especially in my generation or like the older Gen Z, now that a lot of us are of legal drinking age, is the fact that people will be like, oh, do you want to like get drinks sometimes as like a date? And then I have to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't drink, but I'll still like, bars don't serve just alcohol. That's like the main thing. But then it's like, oh my god, then you get labeled as like a prude, which is stupid. Then you get labeled as a square, you get labeled as boring, you get labeled as a stick in the mud, or people are like, are you one of those people, like self-righteous holier than thou assholes with a stick up their ass? It's just really hard. And I feel like we also live in this culture that does not value taking care of yourself, like genuinely taking care of yourself and like being in recovery. Like people be like, oh, like I'm gonna lose weight, but like it starts tomorrow or whatever. And like it's kind of played off as a joke, especially if their weight is impacting their physical health. I'm getting off topic and I'm getting a little impassioned, but my point being is that to me, Alex Earl like trying to be relatable with the whole quirky, cool girl, like messy party girl, I hope that the negative reception shows her that like this is not a good lifestyle to do. This is not something that you want. Like I personally, the amount of money that you spend at a bar, the amount of money you spend on alcohol, like in this economy, just start making your own wine at that point. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that because it was like, it ties into the whole wellness culture thing of like, oh, I'll stop drinking tomorrow, or, and it just made me really sad to see. It makes me very sad to see people using deprivation instead of just trying to be moderate. I personally don't really think that there is a moderate way of drinking in terms of it not damaging your health. That's a personal opinion. I am not a medical professional. Do not take my word for that. Take it with a big old grain of a Roman soldier's salary. A big old grain of salt. When it says worth your weight in salt, they used to pay soldiers in salt because it was such a hot commodity. One of the last reasons that I don't drink is for health reasons. I'm very ill most of the time. I'm very sick a lot, and alcohol and I just don't mix, like I said earlier. But the thing that interests me the most about dry January is that people will say they feel so much better after not drinking for a little bit, but then they immediately go back. Like, why would you want to go back? Is it because it's a habit? Is it because you miss not being seen as some sort of weirdo because you're not drinking? Is it something like that? Is it a habit? Is it something that you feel like you need? Is it an addiction, perhaps? I get concerned about it. And I have the same concern about weed, so like, not to get that twisted. Anyways, I'm not really sure what this was supposed to be. I thought it was going to be more of a commentary, but I guess it's a more serious video. Didn't expect that, but I don't know. I just have some thoughts. It's a little bit of a ramble. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The tangents are kind of everywhere at once. Feeling like that guy from Parks and Rec with the board. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that really fast because it is something that I do get concerned about, and I think that it's worth examining. Do you have a problem? You might think that you do more than anything, and it's okay to admit that you have a problem. And honestly, admitting that you do is the first step to recovering, should you choose to do that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Anyways, I just wanted to offer a little bit of a perspective on dry January through somebody that is sober. The last time I had a drink was sometime around mid-2022. That was a long time ago. I don't even do like tastings because it's just not worth it to me. Anyways, regardless of what you choose to do for your New Year's resolutions, please remember to be kind to yourself and realize that there is no time limit. You don't have to do things by year. If you decide a month into this year that you hate what you're doing, you don't like your goals, your resolutions, you can change that. You can do whatever you want at like any time of the year when you're an adult. If you want to shave your head and start running for marathons in October, you can do that. I know that like it's a clean slate and like it's fun to do, and I like that too, to a certain extent, but also don't restrict yourself on your time limits, and especially do not deprive yourself of the things that bring you joy. You know, if you feel that you have a drinking problem though, please do consider getting a professional evaluation. I will leave SAMHSA's hotline down in the description, and I will leave a couple sources, you know, if you think that you might. If you don't, more power to you, I guess, but maybe give it a little bit of a thought the next time you wake up with a raging hangover. So anyways, that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember now, get off your phone, get some water, go to sleep, read a book, have a great day, night, spring, summer, fall, winter, wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!